So we read chapter 12, part 2, Nitya Dharma, Sadhana and Sadhya. So, in fact, this really covered last week, and we really covered saying there are three kinds of bliss for the jivas. Bliss is actually inherent to the jivas. Every jiva, by inherent, it's actually it's Sachidananda. But because of the desire for the jiva to enjoy, we became Baddha jiva and then fell down into the material world to enjoy this meager bliss. In fact, it's not bliss. So it is actually only miseries. So what are those three kinds of bliss, if at all, that we talking about? One is Jata Sukha. So Jata Sukha is the material pleasures that we enjoy from our current earthly life. That is this life. Okay. Now, Amutrika Sukha means heavenly enjoyment. Because usually if one has really done punya, good karma, then that jiva will be really going to the next heavenly planets and enjoy there. That's the next life. Okay. That's what most other religions are talking about. So this is more lasting, but it's not permanent. Heaven is not permanent. I will tell you, many think that heaven, once you reach the heaven, no, you were in heaven. Then you really came down again. Again you will go back, again come down. In between, depending on, what kind of, atrocities that have really done, you will be going through, hells also. But we are talking about only the bliss, aspect of the life, of the jiva. So, Amatrika Sukha is more lasting, right? But then Chit Sukha is the inherent quality or the intrinsic quality aspect of the Jivatma is the Chit Sukha. Okay, that is the real Ananda. That is eternal. There is no, it doesn't really, once one attains the Chit Sukha, then there is no falling down. No falling down. Okay, so it is everlasting. Now, how you will attain these these sukha, different sukhas, is basically by these are the three means. These means are actually, nicely described in the Shastras. So the Shastras are actually Kamadhenu. Now the jiva may ask, okay, should I really, concentrate on the enjoying this world, that is Jada Sukha, or should I really concentrate myself in the Amtrika Sukha, or I should really concentrate on the Chit Sukha? That is up to the jiva. That independence is there. So how the jiva selects the respective goal is depending on, it's called Adhikar. Adhikar means qualification. Because, you really go and then say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Not everybody awakes. Only few jivas, they really awaken because they are already qualified. That qualification comes by again repeated birth and suffering, and repeated birth and suffering. Jnana comes, and so many levels that the jiva has to go through, and then gets the adhikar. So now, depending on one's the evolution level as where the jiva, because jiva is getting born again and born and death, born and died, born and died. So every time that happens, it is really learning more and more and more and more. So that is how the adhikar is really developed. So now, depending on the adhikar of the jiva, it will go, I want to enjoy this world. Okay, they will really go crazy on that. And whatever you say that, no, that is not the way. You got to have the mind control. You got to have the self-control. You have to do this way. You have to really go to the temples and you have to chant. You have to meditate. No. He doesn't. I don't care. I don't want all those things. I want to be a businessman or something, and I want to get a lot of money and enjoy this world, because I don't know what will happen to me after once I really die. So, because that his adhikar is only that much. So we can't do anything about it. And even worse than that is Nastika. They even they even accept that there is God. So here bhukti, actually if one gets into this enjoying thing, because there are two kinds. One is completely Nastika. They don't care about whether God exists or not. They are really adamant, and they are really foolishness to really just concentrate the whole life in enjoying. But at least the other ones, they really have, okay, they will go to the temple, but what? Give me wealth. I have to be very, very, enjoying. I should have these, everything like that. So that is bhukti. Okay, so the qualification or it's called adhikar of the jiva is that's all it is. Then there are other jivas. Paramahamsas or Ramana Maharishi or so many, they say, no, I don't care. I want to renounce this life. This is not the real bliss. Real bliss is, that is there in the high. I don't want this one. So they will really go and explore, just thinking only about that higher bliss. That is mukti. Mukti, that day we really briefly touched about 5 kinds of mukti. We will again briefly go through. There is a slide there. So those are the mukti. Different kinds of mukti or moksha that can particular jivas who have developed a higher taste, higher intelligence, jnana, will automatically have adhikar, qualification to really choose that mukti as ultimate. So they don't care about enjoying. No, their interest is reading scriptures, not to really make money, nothing. Their focus will be completely different. We can see. Then the third one is bhakti. This bhakti is very difficult topic. Okay, so now Shastras, if you really see, the Shastras give means to achieve bhakti, enjoying this life. Vedas, if you see that, 75% of the Vedas is karma kanda. How to worship Indra, how to worship Chandra, how, and so many demigods. There are, 330 million demigods are there. How to worship them so that you can enjoy. So this bhakti, in fact, actually is not only this life, it is also part of the next life too. Next life, Indraloka, that is still bhakti. It's not mukti. Because once the Indraloka, if you go, you really read that one. Because when the punyas are really exhausted, you have to come back again. So that is still part of bhakti. Mukti is something that it's actually very, very higher. That means you don't really come back. What is bhakti? Bhakti is devotion. So now there are some jivatma who are really so fortunate, they will start from the beginning. I don't care about enjoying this world. I don't care about even getting moksha even. And I want to just sing bhajans and then just read about the stories of Krishna and all the leelas. I really want to spend my rest of the life just on doing bhakti. That's called pure bhakti. Okay, but there are two aspects of bhakti. One bhakti is normal bhakti. That's called Mishra bhakti. So Mishra bhakti, we will be talking about that as well. Without Mishra bhakti, you can't even get bhakti or mukti. Okay, so that's the case. So now these 3 bhakti, that means earthly material enjoyment, gross enjoyment. Mukti, that is higher. That means next life. And in fact, this is actually permanent or sometimes semi-permanent. Bhakti, which is actually just devotion, it doesn't do bhakti or enjoying this world or enjoying the next life, nothing. Bhakti is bhakti because it is pure by itself. Okay, so the Shastras give all the facilities, all the knowledge, all the necessary things for the jivas to choose. That is why Shastra is actually like a Kamadhenu. So Kamadhenu, you just desire, you just ask whatever you want, it will give it to you. So Shastras are like that. So, alright. Now, bhakti means enjoying these earth and heavens. Of course, this we really touched base with the last week. So this enjoyment is actually the gross enjoyment, okay, including heavens, like going to the abode of Lord Indra. So many gods are there. Different religions also they proclaim there are different kinds of heavens are there. But still, it is bhakti. It is not mukti. Very important. It is not bhakti. It's not mukti, but it is bhakti, because your attitude is to enjoy your senses, through your senses. That is what the difference is. Okay, so enjoyment, all the 3 kinds of enjoyments, I really talked about that. But the enjoyment is there are two kinds of enjoyment. One is external enjoyment and another one is internal enjoyment. External enjoyment is what is bhukti and related to all the heavens and reaching heaven, etc. So mukti, yes, I'm just reiterating the 5 kinds of liberation: Sarupya mukti, Salokya mukti, Sarshti, Samipya, and Sayujya. Sarupya mukti means this is in attaining the same form as the Lord. These are all, except the last one, all the 4 are available there in Vaikunta. This is eternal. Eternal means semi-eternal. I won't say eternal, so it's a kind of eternal. Because still the real eternal is Prema Bhakti, which is Goloka Vrindavan. Not all the jivas can actually go there as well. So in a way, this is actually permanent, except the fifth one. Fifth one is not permanent either, even though it is actually lasting for a long time. So Sarupya means, when one actually devotee, this is actually, this mukti is, because one has bhakti, enough bhakti, then he is given the Swarupya mukti. So Swarupya mukti is basically where one gets the same form as a Lord. So they will go to Vaikunta and they will have this exactly the same form as Lord Narayan. Then Salokya mukti is, they will be able to reside in Vaikunta. But somewhere, but they are not going to be really constantly seeing the Lord either, right? And the Sarupya Mukti also same thing. They have the form, but not necessarily the close proximity. Sarshti means same opulence. They have a lot of powers. They will be even participating in some of the maintenance work as the Lord does. Samipya means intimacy. They will be directly serving the Lord. Okay, with close proximity with the Lord. Sayujya is merging with the Lord. This is what the whole Hinduism and all the things about is merging with the Lord. That is called Brahman. Krishna Bhakta does not accept any of these. No Sarupya Mukti, no Salokya Mukti, no Sarshti, no Samipya, definitely not Sayujya. Because by doing Sayujya, Brahman, merging in Brahman, you will lose your identity completely. There is no chance of serving the Lord. But why this is not actually eternal? Because what is the Nitya Dharma of the Jiva? Jivera Swarupahaya, Krishnera Nitya Dasa. But when we really get to the Brahman and completely lose everything, all becomes nothing, Nirvana, then where is the question of coming to really serve the Lord? There is nothing. Okay? See, this is the thing. And also Sayujya, when you are merging the Lord, you are actually killing yourself. It's a spiritual suicide. You are killing yourself. That's it, done. Killing your soul. Not the body, I mean. This is the soul. But why that is not Nitya Dharma? Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Because Jivas by nature is eternal. It cannot be killed. It cannot be annihilated. We just read that. So that way, if you see that, all the Brahman, merging in Brahman and all kinds of nonsense that the Hindus are actually talking about, they don't have anything behind. It's completely nonsense. Okay? It actually came from Adi Shankaracharya and all the Mayavadis. They are the one who really wants to really get to the Ayujya. That's up to them, because they are not qualified to really serve the Lord. That is their problem. And now let us look at the Bhakti. Bhakti is very, very complex to understand, because Bhakti overlaps in Bhukti and also Mukti. Without Bhakti, one cannot get even the enjoyment. Enjoy all your karma, you do good karma. But without that tint of Bhakti, you cannot actually get the result, in fact. Okay, so if you see with the Bhakti, there are two kinds of, two major divisions that we can come in. Pure Bhakti. Pure Bhakti is the only one that can take a Jiva to Goloka, and that is the Nitya Dharma of the Jiva. Now, adulterated Bhakti is the other kind. That is not pure. It is impure. Adulterated means what? This is a kalapadam. Basically something is mixed that it is not pure at all. Okay. Now, that adulterated Bhakti, there are 3 kinds. We really covered that in such a way, but I am putting little more information to complement. Karma Mishra Bhakti. You do karma, good things, social works, this and that. And where will you go? You will mostly go to heaven. But if you are actually having too much of bhakti, then you will go to go to Vaikunta. Okay, so this is depending on how much intensity of the bhakti that you really have. Then then you will go to, if it is only just little bhakti, then heaven, otherwise Vaikunta. Siddha Mishra Bhakti. I am putting something more from the Shastras than what we covered, in fact. Okay, as we go, it's all will come into picture nicely. Siddha Mishra Bhakti. I am just putting this one. Siddha Mishra Bhakti is, this is the thing, Siddhas. Because we didn't talk about the yogis so far. So the yogis, Ashtanga yogis, Kundalinis and these and all kinds of things they really do, they are actually what? They want Siddhi, Ashtasiddhi. Vinayaka, Ashtasiddhi Vinayaka, he is the primordial, custodian of the Siddhic power. He is him. So they, people want Siddhi. And Sai Baba, they are completely on the all Siddhas. Lot of people, even in South India, actually, primarily, they worship Siddhas. This is totally not, it's not good at all. So they will go to Siddhaloka. Siddhaloka, of course, it's also a lot of happiness is there. But again, it's not really very permanent like the heaven. So one has to really come down when they really, when their punya, all the good deeds have really exhausted, they have to actually come back. Siddhaloka is something again more lasting. Then Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Jnana Mishra Bhakti is, so where, because of from the karma, one become karma yoga, then karma yoga, one become jnana. Okay, remember the chain? We'll talk about the chain soon. Okay, so that will take you on to the Brahman or Vaikunta also. Okay, so this is the kinds of bhakti. But without bhakti, even bhukti cannot be obtained. One has to have bhakti. Okay, now I am putting this one. So this is, if you see, without bhakti, there is no fruit to karma or jnana or yoga. That's exactly what I was talking about. If you see, that in the red, that is karma, and what is in the blue, that is jnana, and then Ashtanga, then the green is Ashtanga yoga. Bhakti, when it is applied, all these things, that is how the Mishra Bhakti comes into picture. So when karma, one is a karmi, but he has little bhakti to the Lord. So he has karma Mishra Bhakti. Mishra means kalapada. That means basically adulterated. Okay, it's like mixed with. Karma mixed with bhakti. And then jnana mixed with bhakti. That is jnana Mishra Bhakti. And then Siddha Mishra Bhakti. Okay. Now there is also another aspect what we read, that was Jnana Karma Mishra Bhakti. Okay, we saw that too. Okay, that means these two bubbles, these red and then the blue, they are overlapping, and it is forming another intersection there. Okay, which is called Jnana Karma Mishra Bhakti. Okay, I didn't really I didn't want to really go to that detail. But the idea here is, without bhakti, nothing is coming. Okay, now what is the karma Mishra Bhakti? Karma means what? Their bhukti. I want to enjoy. And this is what actually happens. If you see here, what bhakti that, what exactly the area that these Ambanis, that we are talking about here going there. It is going through the karma Mishra Bhakti. He wants, what is the thing is, oh Srinathji, let me enjoy this world. I am more than ever. After this life, give me Vaikunta. Okay, so this is what it is. Okay, so it is karma Mishra Bhakti. I want to just pull a sample to really, just for the sake. Then Siddha Mishra Bhakti is in yoga. Oh Krishna, please give me Ashtasiddhic power. I am an Ashtanga yogi. Every day I am doing Kundalini yoga. Please give me the Ashtasiddhi power. Then what is the Jnana Mishra Bhakta ask for? Oh Krishna, please give me moksha. Give me Vaikunda. Oh Brahman. This world is, these all the, the whole world. I don't want those things, but I know because I got jnana. I am telling that this world is only suffering. But oh Lord, I am now intelligent and renounce everything. Please give me moksha. It's all adulterated bhakti. Now, this is what the chain that we talked about that. A jiva starts with doing karma. In one birth, they do karma, then karma, mishra bhakti, etc., whatever that does that. Then another birth comes. Okay, he goes to heaven, right? Then he comes down again. And because he already done that chain of the work, right? Actually, each chain, the portion, you think that it's like a segment of more chains. Okay, karma, that is one segment. Jnana, jnana means what? Knowledge about what? Atma, God, and what is the real purpose in the life, etc. So that is jnana. And then bhakti. Then finally only bhakti comes. Bhakti comes later. They said no, these are the going to heaven is not at all pleasurable. Only doing bhakti to Krishna is the most pleasurable. They really feel that way. Okay, so this is depending on one's adhikara. Now what is the root of the pure bhakti? Root of the pure bhakti is Krishna bhakti janma mula haya sadhu sangha Krishna prema janme dhanho puna mukhya anga. So what that means, the fundamental root cause of Krishna bhakti is sadhu sangha, association with advanced devotees. Even when one's dormant Krishna prema awakens, sadhu sangha is still the most important principle of one's spiritual life. That's what it means. So we are talking about bhakti. How will you get bhakti? Because of your sukruti that you are really done. We really covered that before. And sadhu sangha is actually automatically arranged by the Lord. But everybody is, oh yeah, okay, now yes, I know, I have to do the devotion. But the thing is, if the ulterior inside is again moksha, that's the problem. God is cheating. Look at it, he's cheating. Because, all the people who really fly for going to Vaikunda and all those things, they are actually really, see what Bhagavan is saying. Naham vasami Vaikunde yoginam hridayena cha matbhakta yatra gayandi tatra dishtami Narada. Oh Narada, I do not reside in Vaikunda, nor am I in the hearts of the yogis. I reside where my devotees glorify my name, form, qualities, and my transcendental pastime. Where my devotee cries for me, I am there. I am not in Vaikunda. This is a statement for Padma Purana, strong statement. But everybody goes to Vaikunda. So where do they see? They see a dummy Narayana. That's all they see. Nirvana is not acceptable, right? That's, Sayuja Mukti is not acceptable because the reason is, it's a spiritual suicide. So it's a spiritual suicide. Because why it is a spiritual suicide? When a Jivatma merges in Brahman, it loses all the identity and there is no chance of serving to the Lord at all. But whereas the Nitya Dharma of the Jiva is Krishnera Swarupa Haya, Krishnera Nitya Dasa. How can they really serve? So that's why this is completely not acceptable. What is this? All the Brahman? It is Anga Jyoti. It is only a effulgence coming from the Brahman. Brahma Anga Kanti Tanra Nirvishesha Prakase Surya Yena Charma Sakshe Jyotirmaya Bhashe. That is, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Matya. So here, clearly saying that, oh Krishna, don't show me this Brahman, this your Anga Jyoti. Don't show that. You are, because, I cannot see you. I want to see you only. I want you. This is the reality of the real bhakti. Now about Mahavakyas, we really talked about Mahavakyas, right? Because see, the thing is, Mayavadis, they really take these 4 things, each from one Veda, Rig Veda, Brahmanam Brahma, insight is Brahman. Okay, this is actually from Ayurveda Upanishad, from Rig Veda. Then Ayam Atma Brahma, the self, that is Atman, is Brahman. This is Mandakya Upanishad, that is part of the Atharva Veda. Then Tattvamasi, the essence is you. This is Chandogya Upanishad, actually of the Samaveda. The Aham Brahmasmi, the famous one, is what? I am Brahman. This is actually coming from the Brihadarashara Upanishad, that is actually part of the Yajurveda. So these Mahavakyas are chosen for their crookedness. They want to prove their philosophy and they misinterpret this whole thing. That's what the whole Mayavadism is actually all about. So they are not the ultimate truth at all. Okay. Now Krishna is satisfied only by pure bhakti. Krishna cannot be satisfied by, karma cannot satisfy Krishna, jnana cannot satisfy Krishna, and also Ashtanga yoga cannot satisfy Krishna, only pure love called prema can satisfy Krishna. That is why he said, yoginam api sarvesham mat kate nandar atmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. So what he is saying, of all the yogis, Karma yogi, Jnana yogi, this yogi, that Ashtanga yogi, this yogi, whatever, meditation yogi, any yoga that you really think about, except Bhakti yoga. Of all the other yogas, those whose minds are always absorbed, only those who really do Bhakti to me, because their minds are always absorbed in me, and who engage in the devotion to me with great faith, them I consider to be the best of all. So Bhakti yogi, that is a Bhakta. We won't even call yogi, because that word is not at all good for bhakti. Bhakti, that is prema bhakti, is the only one that can actually take Krishna. And what is prema bhakti? Anya vilasita sunyam jnana karmani anavritam anukulena krishnanu silanam bhaktir uttama. Uninterrupted loving service without any desire of jnana or karma, but aiming only to give happiness to Krishna is pure bhakti. Now you can actually you can think about the bhakti that we have towards Krishna. First of all, is it uninterpreted? Suppose you take a honey bottle, right? You really pour. Okay, suppose you really pour some other water, it will say gum 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 like that. It will come as ripple, right? But a chunk by chunk it will come. But if you really pour the honey bottle, the honey will be really coming down without any breaking. There's continuous flow, uninterrupted. But do we do? We have all kinds of things. We are getting mixed in our job, our money, our this and that. And all. No, that is not Sutta Bhakti. Sutta Bhakti means you can still do your work. But in the background, it is all completely you are thinking only about Krishna. There is nothing, no thought other than Krishna is there with you. And uninterrupted loving service, that means actually whatever you do is for him only. I am not working for really get money for me to enjoy. That is not service. Yes, service. See, uninterrupted loving service means what? Anything that you do, it should eventually go to Krishna only. Not for us. Okay, in uninterrupted loving service without any desire for jnana. Okay, here the thing is what? Jnana means what? Oh, I want knowledge. I want to be famous. I want to be great in everything. And karma, that is attached to the bhukti. I want to enjoy. I want to do good things. I want to do social work. I want to so that I can get to heaven. No. Without any desire of jnana or karma, but what should be the aim? Aim should be only to give happiness to Krishna. That is pure bhakti. Uninterrupted. Loving service. Love. Not like master servant in a relation to, because I am a servant, I have to work that. Not like that. Loving service. Without anything. You are eternally serving without for even a single paisa of salary. You are giving your whole life just for satisfying only Krishna, not us. Yeah, it is pure bhakti. That's why our line is so special. That pure bhakti, how many will be actually having it? Okay, all right. Here is one small bhajan. we want to conclude this class with. So I want to ask Yashika to really unmute your phone and put on your video and sing this bhajan. Krishna is satisfied only by Sutta Bhakti. This Yennadavam Saidane Yashoda. What kind of punya? Oh Yashoda, what kind of punya that you have really done?
Yennadavam Saidane. Yennadavam Saidane Yashoda. Yennadavam Saidane Yashoda. Yennadavam Saidane Yashoda. Yennadavam Saidane Yashoda. எங்கும் நிறை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா வென்றிருக்க என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா. எங்கும் நிறை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா வென்றிருக்க என்ன தவம் செய்தனே. ஈரேழு புவனங்கள் படைத்தவனை, ஈரேழு புவனங்கள் படைத்தவனே, கையிலேண்டே சிராட்டே பல்லூட்டே தலாட்ட என்ன தவம் செய்தனே. கையிலேண்டே சிராட்டே பல்லூட்டே தலாட்ட என்ன தவம் செய்தனே. சனகாடியர் தவயோகம் செய்தார், சனகாடியர் தவயோகம் செய்தார், வருந்தே சாரே தடை புனிதமாதேயலிடல் பெற என தவம் செய்தனே. சனகாடியர் தவயோகம் செய்தார், சனகாடியர் தவயோகம் செய்தார், வருந்தே சாரே தடை புனிதமாதேயலிடல் பெற என தவம் செய்தனே. வருந்தே சாரே தடை புனிதமாதேயலிடல் பெற என தவம் செய்தனே. பிரம்மனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொள்ள, பிரம்மனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொள்ள, உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தே கெஞ்ச விட்டாய் தாயே, உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தே கெஞ்ச விட்டாய் தாயே என்ன தவம் செய்தனே. பிரம்மனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொள்ள, பிரம்மனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொள்ள, உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தே கெஞ்ச விட்டாய் தாயே, உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தே கெஞ்ச விட்டாய் தாயே என்ன தவம் செய்தனே. என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா, என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா. எங்கும் நிறை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா வென்றிருக்க என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா. எங்கும் நிறை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா வென்றிருக்க என்ன தவம் செய்தனே. என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா, யசோதா.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.